So, Jackson, let's start with you. With Logan Sargent's recent mistakes and poor performances, is his confidence gone, and could the only American on the grid be off of it next year?
I just think there's too much talent waiting in the wings, unfortunately, to take Logan off. I unfortunately, as an American, Josh, we see so many Americans try to get into Formula One, and we want to see it happen. But you see a guy like Logan Sargent, and you think maybe you should let this guy cook maybe a year or two longer in Formula Two before you bump him up to the big leagues. But I totally understand the move from Williams. It was a marketing based decision. You have the hype from the American market. You should have an American driver representing your team. But Josh, I just think it was a move too soon.
Yeah, and I've been saying throughout the weekend, we actually discussed this in practice three's commentary, that I think you have to let the rookies sort of adapt. You have to let them go and sort of go, yeah, they need a bit of time. They need a bit of space to get in there. But with Liam Lawson in qualifying, he sort of put that to bed, didn't he? Because this is his third Grand Prix or fourth Grand Prix or something like that for Liam Lawson. Give me a second. Yeah, and he's had experience at this circuit before. Earlier on in the season in April, qualified 9th and finished the Super Formula race in 4th. So he had track experience. First track he's come to where he's had that for a similar type of powerful car. And he was quick. He was 4th in qualifying 1 ahead of Sonoda. Got knocked out in Q2, but he was good. And comparing why Liam Lawson, who was 13th in his first race, 11th in his second, points in his third, you've got to start thinking, why is Logan Sargeant not delivering?
Josh, if I could jump in, I'm kind of curious how much you think the performance of the car is a factor to that. Because yes, we've seen Albon in the points, but that AlphaTauri has been way more of a mid-pack contender, especially at this time of the season.
Yeah, when we started the year, it was the AlphaTauri was one of the worst cars on the grid. They've done a lot of development on that as well. And I think that's benefited Liam to come into a car that's sort of getting there to be a midfield team. The Williams has had similar performance, but they were, I think, a midfield car right from the start of the year. So Sargent sort of had to contend with that as a rookie, being in a midfield car from the start. So it's going to take him longer, but I don't see why we're at round 16 of the season and in the last 3 races, he's crashed at crucial times as well. So it's not good looking for his future in Formula One already. I'd be very surprised if, considering Williams don't need the cash anymore, if they keep Sargent on for another year. But Liam Lawson's already been announced as reserve driver for AlphaTauri and Red Bull for next year anyway. So it's going to be entertaining to see if Williams take him on, especially as Mick Schumacher was after the seat. And Toto Wolff, of course, very close with James Vowles, sent them all the telemetry data. And James Vowles says, actually, no, we don't want Mick. So that's a hammer blow to Mick. And it's an interesting play around to see what he's doing. So I think James Vowles knows what he wants in Williams and what he wants in the team. He's turning it around, and he's turning out to be a great team principal. So I think with Sargent, the writing's on the wall, unfortunately. And I think the qualifying crash sort of signed it, because it didn't need to happen. It was a silly mistake. We've seen crashes in that part of the track before. And Glock crashed there in 2009. He locked up, had a brake failure, hit the wall hard, was out for a couple of races. Kubica crashed there 2019, got on the dust and hit the wall, pretty much similar to what happened with Sargent in this session. So yeah, it's a comedy of errors that doesn't need to happen in that part of the track. But anyway, I've talked too much, and it's Isha's turn to have a go.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you guys here. As Jackson mentioned, Logan Sargeant does bring that American representation, so it is a smart move to keep him, because it brings in that American audience as well. However, with the performance he's had so far, I mean, considering that it is his rookie season, but then we also look at the other drivers, as you guys mentioned, Liam Lawson and also Oscar Piastri, to a certain degree, it is also the performance of the cars that they're in. But I think that just with Logan Sargeant, he's been making too many mistakes. And as an American, it is nice to see him representing us in Formula One as the only American driver. But I think that the team has to make the smarter decision here. And I don't think that is keeping Logan Sargeant on for next year. I think the seat's definitely going to go to someone else. And to be honest, I don't even know if we're going to see him again in Formula One in the future because, we all know Formula One's pretty cutthroat. And with the sort of season he's had, even though it's his rookie season, I just don't think he's going to be here next year.
Another question I had for you guys was, Sargeant, if he's not on the F1 grid next year, where does he go? I've seen a lot of chatter on social media, like maybe he goes to IndyCar, but I don't think there's like seats available over there. I'm just kind of curious what you guys think.
I could really see him in Formula E.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing actually.
He would have been already maybe
Okay.
looking around for. I think we already would have heard about maybe some talks behind closed doors there for IndyCar, but I think if it's
Right.
not this year, for sure, maybe a 2025, 2026 drive for him in IndyCar. But I mean, clearly got talent, but yeah, just so disappointing.